There's a place down the street where good friends meet. Why don't you come along? See a face that's new, share a point of view, or maybe sing a song. Life has many stories that you hear all the time. Two of them you'll hear today, that's yours and that's mine. But there's a third story that'll always be there. Just climb to the top of the stair. Life has many stories that you hear all the time. Two of them you'll hear today, that's yours and that's mine. But there's a third story that'll always be there. Just climb to the top of the stair. Climb to the top of the stair.
Ron, I need your help, please.
You sound desperate. What's the problem?
I got this makeup essay to do for school, and I need your help. It's on the What is Life topic.
And you want Ron to help you? Don't you want to get a decent mark on it, Kelly?
Of course she does. That's why she asked me.
I just thought you might have thought about this question. That's all.
Well, try me.
The teacher wants a sort of fun thing on what life is all about.
Well, what do you think life is all about?
One day wondering who I was, I asked my mom and dad because I want to be like them in many ways. They told me no one's quite the same. I had their love and my own name, but I was wondering still for many days. And I'm asking who I am and who I'm gonna be, and who are other people going to see. And I'm asking who I am and who I'm gonna be, and who are other people going to see. One day deep in thought again, I saw the pictures of the men and women people go for miles to see. The movie stars who are here today, the hockey heroes when they play, the super rock and rolling kings and queens. And I'm asking who I am and who I'm gonna be, and who are other people going to see. And I'm asking who I am and who I'm gonna be, and who are other people going to see. Days went by in questioning, the answers different people bring, the famous and the friendly and the wise. But when I read the holy book, the word God's image made me look and see myself through Jesus' loving eyes. Once I wondered who I was, and now I'm finding out because I'm following the Lord in all His ways. He gives me love and my own name, for God made no one quite the same, and He knows what I need through all my days. Now I know just who I am and who I'm gonna be, and who the people around are going to see. Now I know just who I am and who I'm gonna be, and who the people around are going to see.
Okay, we could say that life is fun, a pain, frustrating,
etc., etc. What I want is something different. Something that says what's really real.
Then what you want is what life is really all about.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a lot harder than what is life.
Bye,
Bye,
Hi, Byron.
Hi.
Turn that down, Byron. I'm trying to work.
Can't. The button's shut.
I can't believe he's for real.
Hey, what happened?
Byron, why don't you take that in the corner? We can hardly hear ourselves think.
I don't know what's been getting into him lately.
Besides a lot of chips and pop.
You've got yourself a real tough assignment, Kelly. Philosophers throughout history have been trying to figure out what life is all about.
Well, our teacher wants us to come up with the answer so she can stop studying philosophy. That's what she told us.
Special message for all you with the teacups out there. Are you unhappy with yourself? Does the same old pattern bore you? Are you looking for a small miracle to give you the sparkle other teacups have? What you need is Magic Formula Tea. In just 30 seconds, Magic Formula Tea will work twice as fast to stir up inside you everything you've always been straining for. It will fill you to the brim with 300% more happiness. You'll look fresh and young again in 12 ways. Like all those other teacups, you'll have the sparkle you've always been longing for. And at only half the price of the other leading brands. Magic Formula Tea, the solution teacups everywhere recommend most. Be the first teacup in your china cabinet to get it. This is another special announcement for all you teacups out there. Do you ever get the feeling that you look just like every other teacup on the shelf? You've got the same shape, the same old sparkle they have. There's nothing to make you stand out from everyone else. What you need is Super Magic Formula Tea. Now, Super Magic Formula Tea is new and improved, and it will make you look special. Leading teacups everywhere are saying...
Do you ever get into the groove of chasing one silly promise after the other? What's the use? Stop and think. Why always wish for what you don't have? Be content with what you do have.
Well, I'll try and give you some of my ideas. Anything to help a teacher.
Maybe you should start out by eliminating what's not real and seeing what you're left with.
Hey, that's a good idea.
Like, in a storybook world, is it real when an author develops a plot and has everything work out to a happy ending?
Real life has to be lived with real people who have real problems and work out real solutions.
We experience many things each day that we live. Some of these experiences bring us close to what you might call a real world. Others take us away from it. For example, when you open a tap in your kitchen sink, water comes out, right? Do that often enough without thinking, and you might eventually get the idea that water originates in pipes. But if you were to follow those pipes down to your basement and underground, they would lead you to a reservoir or even a lake or a well. Stay there long enough and you'd see rain falling from the sky to fill a lake. Study the raindrops and you would find that they get up into the sky by being evaporated from bodies of water on the earth, and that they're carried way up by the wind. Look how much you'd miss if you never got beyond the kitchen taps. The city is something made by human beings. If you never get out of the city, you might get the idea that the whole world is made of concrete and asphalt and steel. But go out into the country where forests and prairies exist, and you'll get a bigger view of the world. You'll see many different plants, maybe some animals, and many other things in nature. No matter where we live, in the country or in the city, it's possible for us to box ourselves into a world of fantasy and unreality. We can miss out on a lot of life by trying to live life in our minds alone. When we live in such a world, we don't really solve the problems we come up against. We just dream up solutions in our minds. We don't really relate to people in true life relationships. Instead, we dream up fantastic relationships with heroes in our minds. Heroes that we never ever meet, that can't help us at all because they're only a part of a fantasy world. God made us with 5 senses. He wants us to use them for good. When He created the world, He put man in charge. That is a big responsibility. It would be irresponsible for us to cop out into an unreal world of fantasy and miss out on the many special things He has made for us.
I know that I'm a part of life because I'm in this world.
And the trees and birds and sky are real too, aren't they?
But maybe that's all just one little part of something else.
You mean we don't see all of reality?
Yeah, like if the microscope had never been invented, we wouldn't know that tiny microorganisms exist. And yet they're a big part of life even if we don't see them. Sometimes sad things happen to us, such as when we lose people that are close to us. Life isn't always like a storybook where they all live happily ever after. Death is a part of reality too. Listen to the story of a young man named Dat No. Dad and his family left their homeland of Vietnam to come to Canada. On the way, some of his family died when their boat capsized.
Hi, my name is Dad. My country is Vietnam, and I live in Saigon. My country is beautiful, but we didn't have a good enough food to eat, and we have to work hard. On 1 month, we got about $40. We got to the boat 18.5 meters long and 4.5 meters wide, and about 299 people up there. And we went to Malaysia, but we can't get in the beach, so we stayed in Malaysia on water about 1 night. The wind is too big, so we get drunk on the boat. My boat died about 148 people, and my mom she's died too. And I lose my mom in my family about 5 people. The boat drunk, they can't get off the boat, so they drunk with the boat together and they die. we have to swimming on a boat in a boat to the beach. From the boat to the beach about 20 meters long, and nobody can help you, so you have to take care of yourself. We stay on the beach about 1 day. Then in Malaysia, after hospital, we went to the refugee camp, and I have stayed there about 5 months. In May 2nd, we went to Winkler. We went to Canada of Winkler. We met the people in the church. They are good for us and help us. I mean, I have to go away from my country. It's sad for me, but I think first one is I lost my mother. It's hard one to my family, you know. And my mother, she's helping for cleaning up all everything. We just go to school and come back for lunch, and then we go to school again, you know. I lost too many, but I don't care. I just need my mom. That's all. It's very important of my life and my family too. So we don't have my mother, so we just help together.
All right! What's with him? Is he doing a phys ed project?
Are you kidding? He's in one of my classes and he's gonna fail if he doesn't watch out. He's getting behind.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Yes, let's get back to your paper, Kelly. Like I was saying, maybe some of the really real things are beyond what we can see, hear, smell, or taste.
Like God and heaven and things like that?
I think that's right. I know that God is real, but I've never seen him face to face.
But you still know he's there.
Yes. And God's son Jesus made some really interesting claims about reality when he was here on earth. He said that he was the true light to give light to all men.
Does that mean we can trust him to give us directions?
That's right. He also claimed to be the true bread from heaven.
What did he mean by that?
I think he meant that was to be a deep relationship with him as a satisfying the deep hunger inside of man. Sometimes we think that life is mainly made up of having more things, of having a good time. But you know, sometimes when you've been alone, I think you felt a kind of emptiness, a vacuum that only something or someone can fill. The Bible tells a story of a man named Philip, whom God sent one day to a very remote area of the wilderness to meet a man. Well, there he stood on the road waiting, and finally a little dust cloud came. He saw the dust cloud coming closer, and soon there was a chariot there. He looked inside the chariot and saw the occupant reading a portion of the Bible. Now, most of us would have thought that this man in the chariot had really achieved. He was a treasurer of a big country. He had a very important position. Well, Philip came up to him and said, "Sir, do you understand what you're reading?" He had noticed that he was reading a passage about Jesus. "No," the man said. "Would you mind guiding me?" No problem at all. He got inside the chariot and began to explain how the great God, who had made all the universe, had loved the people on the earth so much that he made himself little and became a man, Jesus. And that this Jesus had died, but God was really strong and had broken off the chains of death, rose again. Then Philip told the man that if anybody believed in Jesus and accepted him, he would have God's offer of forgiveness and real life that went on forever. Even though this Ethiopian man had everything, prestige and position, and even though he had gone to worship, he still had a deep desire for something more. That day, on that dusty road, he accepted Jesus, and life took on a real meaning for him.
I guess sometimes we get the wrong idea of what things are really real.
That's right.
Thanks, Ron. I think I'll go home now and see if I can put all this stuff together. If I get an A, I'll share it with you.
Great. I'll take
It's
it.
time I was going to. Bye, Ron.
We'll see ya.
Yeah, I gotta
See you
go.
guys. Bye, Ron.
See
Bye,
ya.
Byron.
Bye, Byron.
See you, Byron.
Don't stay up too late.
We're looking for something. You know what it is? Here at the Third Story, we'd like to get to know more about the people who are watching our program. It would be really neat to find out what's special about you. Maybe you found something in the program especially interesting or even helpful. Why don't you take a few minutes right now to drop us a line? And when you do, we'll send you our magazine. It'll tell you some things about us, and besides that, it has some of our stories and songs from the program. Send your letter to The Third Story, Box 2, Station F, Winnipeg, Manitoba. That's The Third Story, Box 2, Station F, Winnipeg, Manitoba. We'll be waiting to hear from you.
In school they told me you just got to know science and socials and how to sit in a row. But then they scold me when I want to know, is it all true and what am I learning it for? Open my eyes, there is much more to see, something more real and more free. Open my eyes, there is much more to see, something more real and more free. Downtown they told me, put on a good show, play the right music, make sure you wear the right clothes. They try to mold me, I want to say no. Isn't there some other better way I can go? Open my eyes, I am starting to see something more real and more free. Open my eyes, I am starting to see something more real and more free. Have we rejected the truth of God's plan? All of his purposes for the world and for man. Well, Jesus showed me what God had in mind, living and dying in perfect love for mankind. Open your eyes, are you starting to see something more real and more free? Open your eyes, are you starting to see something more real and more free? Something more real, something more real.
$500. And well, start things off today. I'm Bill Business from New York Shoppers here. One of you.
Hey, what'd you do that for?
I want to talk with you, Byron, and it seems like the only way I can get your attention.
Try me when there's a commercial.
Nope, I think now would be best. Byron, I'm a little bit worried about what you're missing out in your friendships with the other kids.
It's just something to watch.
Hey, listen, why don't you and I have a game of crokinole and we can talk about it? You mind?
Okay.
Okay, good. Get the old board. Now, what do you want, red or black?
Oh, God.
Black? Okay, that gives me more. I've got the red. Tell you what, the guy who gets the first 20 takes the other guy, oh, hold it, gets to take the other guy out to lunch. Figure that one out. Ho, 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 ho. Your turn. Okay, I've got it. I had it. Why don't we start a game?
All right.
Okay, you go first.
Scared you're gonna lose.
No? Go ahead.